That was a quick little demonstration of this bamboo sax that I bought from Eric, the flute maker. This is an interesting, really cool little instrument that I've been seeing around for years, and I've wanted one for basically ever since I saw him. Recently I decided to actually go ahead and buy one from Eric the flute maker and learn how to play it and make a video on it for you guys. This is unlike anything I've ever reviewed on the channel. I've always had an appreciation for woodwind instruments and just wind-powered instruments in general, brass instruments too. And I've never really done anything regarding them on the channel. So I figured now is the time to change all that and introduce the bamboo sax. I absolutely love this thing. It's a fascinating, interesting instrument, and so is the guy who makes it. Eric Sampson, Eric the flute maker, is also a really interesting guy, and his website is super cool. So I think after I show you guys all about the bamboo sax and I tell you everything I know about how to play it and how it works, and I'll play you some tunes on it too, after that I think what I'm going to do is take you to Eric the flute maker's website, show you around, and show you some of the other cool instruments that he has. I might buy some other stuff from him too, and I thought I'd show you them to you guys first. You'll get a sneak peek at what I'm thinking about buying, and you can tell me if you think I should or not. And if you have any other suggestions for interesting instruments, especially if they're under the price of $200, they don't even necessarily have to be woodwinds. I would love to do more woodwind videos on the channel. I'm absolutely loving this thing. So if you guys have any other woodwind instrument suggestions that are relatively affordable, or just instruments in general under the price of $200, definitely let me know down in the comment section below. Anyway, let's get on with the introduction and tour of the bamboo saxophone. So here I am out in the forest, basically sitting on this bench with the bamboo saxophone. Now I believe I paid around $165 for this instrument, which at first glance might seem like a lot of money for what is basically a saxophone mouthpiece on a bamboo tube, but honestly I think it's totally worth it. I think this is an absolutely amazing instrument that I love playing. I think it's super cool, it's relatively easy to play as well, and I absolutely love it. Another thing I like is this case that comes with it, this little bag. It's really great, does a good job of protecting the instrument, and also makes it easy to carry with you. So like I said, and like you might have seen in the intro clip there, it's basically, like I just said, a saxophone mouthpiece on a bamboo tube. This bamboo is actually grown by Eric the flute maker himself. He has this massive plantation down in Florida. At least it certainly appears to be huge in some of the videos. In some of his videos, he makes videos on YouTube too. Some of the bamboo that he's got are like this big around, and they're who knows how tall. It's super impressive. So he actually grows this bamboo himself, he cures it himself, and he builds these all entirely himself, which is super amazing to me. So he cuts these to the right length to make the alto one be in the key of B flat. He uses hot irons to basically burn these holes into the bamboo to create the right pitches for the notes, and then he essentially attaches a pre-made alto saxophone mouthpiece to the alto sax, bamboo sax. The mouthpiece is literally a saxophone mouthpiece. This particular one is made by Rico. Sadly, you can't actually change out these mouthpieces. They appear to be glued onto the instrument, but it comes with a Rico mouthpiece as well as a Rico 1.5 strength reed. I'll go over the basics of what I know about the embouchure and the playing technique for these instruments. I got all of my knowledge from videos online because, fun fact, before buying this instrument, I had no clue how to play the saxophone, so I had to learn everything from scratch with this instrument. And that was kind of part of my curiosity. Is this a good instrument to learn how to play the saxophone on? You won't really be able to learn the key technique of a saxophone because that's completely different from this, but the embouchure technique should be the same. And so as a result, I think this is a good instrument to learn the basics of the saxophone on. You can get mediocre real saxophones for around $200 and something, or you could get this for less than $200, and I think that's really fantastic. This is basically a handcrafted instrument for less than $200. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So the reed is what creates all the sound. It resonates through the mouthpiece and the rest of the instrument, which creates the pitches. The ligature actually holds the reed to the mouthpiece, and when you first begin to play, what you're going to want to do is wet the reed. Some people say to wet both ends, the thicker end and the actual sound end that creates the sound. Others say it doesn't matter. I get good results by wetting both ends, so that's usually what I do. I've been playing it for a while, so I don't really feel that I have the need to wet it once again. And when you do wet the reed, you want it to be able to stick to the mouthpiece all by itself. Once you do that and you get it in generally the right position, you want it to be centered on the table, by the way. The table is the flat part of the reed. Once you get it centered on the reed, just like so, that's basically the position you want it to be in, then you can hold it in place with your thumb and drop the ligature on top. My thumb made it move. There we go. So you get it close in position, put the ligature on loosely, get it in the final position, which should be, once again, something like that, and then tighten up the ligature with these two little screws. That's the basic technique. It is pretty important to get the reed in the right position, otherwise you get all kinds of funky noises, and it looks to me like I have it in the right position. Sounds decent to me. I think I do have it in the right position. Now, the embouchure technique, again, is the most crucial, important part of playing this instrument. Being able to cover the holes with your fingers and do that fine is an important part, but I think the embouchure is even more important. And what I know about the embouchure, this is how it works. The first step for me is to make sure that your teeth are on the top of the mouthpiece. They want to be touching the top, like so. Your lower lip should be between your teeth and the mouthpiece, so it should kind of be acting as a cushion between your teeth and the mouthpiece, like so. Like, hopefully you can see that. And then you want your lips and your mouth to kind of pucker over the instrument. You don't want your lips to be brought back like that. That's not really going to help you. You want your lips to kind of create an airtight seal around the end of the mouthpiece. This will take some practice, of course. It did take me a little while to get used to it, but honestly, it's not the hardest thing in the world. There's plenty of great YouTube videos from professional saxophonists as well, for beginners, about how to get good embouchure. And after watching 2 or 3 of those and watching Eric's videos about his own bamboo saxes, I was able to make some sounds. You don't want to put the mouthpiece too far into your mouth or you'll get these awful squawking goose noises. And you want to only have it in maybe about ½ an inch or so, like that. Once you do that and you get your embouchure correct, you will have good sound. Something like that. Another thing I learned that seems to help me as well, and this is a professional technique that real saxophonists use, is the technique of long tones. And I found this really important when I first got started, and I still do it to this day, and it's as simple as it sounds. Long tones. You just choose a note and just hold it for as long as you can and try to get the best tone possible, especially in the beginning by altering your embouchure and stuff like that. Again, the embouchure is really important. For the lower notes, I've found that if your lower lip is too tight against the reed, you'll get these weird higher pitched squeaky tones, which obviously is not ideal. If your mouth is too loose around the mouthpiece for the higher notes, they'll be flat. Those are flat. These are what they're supposed to sound like. Compared to. So the embouchure is very important for getting a good tone. I think I've got the basics down, but again, all my knowledge has come from YouTube videos. There's probably a few things I'm missing here and there, so feel free to give me some helpful pointers on that if you want to. That is about everything for the mouthpiece that I can think of. I might be missing a little thing here that I want to say, but that's basically the basics of the mouthpiece. For playing it, it's about as simple as you get. You close all the holes, you get your low note, which for the B-flat alto saxophone is B-flat. As you open up the holes, it goes up the diatonic B-flat major scale. And those are the notes. So you're only limited to 1 octave, which I think is one of the downsides to this instrument. There's not very many downsides to it. There's only 2 that I can think of right now. 1, the mouthpiece is glued to the instrument, which prevents you from putting on higher quality mouthpieces, bigger mouthpieces, and being able to alter the tone that way, and you're only limited to 1 octave. So there's a lot of pieces of music that I could play if I had 2 octaves, but I can't because there's only 1 octave. Having said that, I think this is such a super fun instrument, and I absolutely adore playing it. What I think I'm going to do is just kind of noodle around here and play some stuff on it for you and let you guys have a listen to the tone of it. I think it sounds really great. Does it sound exactly like a saxophone? Not really, but it does sound like a saxophone, kind of, and I love the tone of it. I think it sounds amazing. I think it's just so much fun to play, and I absolutely love playing it. Now, there are a few different pieces of music that you can play on here. I haven't spent that much time acquiring a repertoire of proper musical pieces for it, but of course you can play the lick, like I did in the intro. So you can play that on here, and that alone just makes it amazing. And there's other pieces of music that you can play too. I'm actually drawing a blank right now on what I should play, but I can play a few different things here. Of course, that's a little bit of green sleeves. Again, because I don't have access to lower notes, I can't quite play it the way it's meant to be, but you can recognize it. You can also half hold notes as well and kind of get like in between notes. And in the bamboo sax world, I believe we call these half notes. So you can half hold notes and kind of get the blue note. I'm not that great at it, but you can actually do that, and you can do that on a few other notes as well. And you can basically do it on just about every note as well. Some it works better on others. But that's basically the sound of the bamboo sax. You can also play some like popular music on here as well. This is one that I found has all the notes in the bamboo sax for the actual tune. Not everyone likes this piece, but it does actually work on here. Of course, that was pumped up kicks. It works on here. You have all the notes on the bamboo sax for that piece, and there's a few other ones as well. I would love to be able to play the Jurassic Park theme on here for you guys, but again, I don't either have low enough notes for it or high enough notes for it. Let me figure out if I remember how to play it here. I'm messing up. Here we go. And then I need a lower note. I don't have that note. It does have its limitations, but overall, I think it's an absolutely amazing, amazing instrument. It's so much fun to just noodle around with, walk outside, go for a walk, and play this, and probably annoy all the neighbors. I can hear it echoing throughout the whole neighborhood. I don't know what everyone thinks of this, but I love it. I think it's so much fun to play. I absolutely adore it. As you can hear, my intonation isn't perfect on some of the higher notes. I am still learning exactly what to do. But it has been immensely fun to learn how to play the basics of the bamboo saxophone and get to know how to play it. I can't express how much I absolutely love it. A couple of cool little cute things. He actually signed it here as well. I think he does it with all of his instruments. It says Eric 2020 right down here. And at the bottom of the instrument, it says B flat, in case you ever forget what key it's in. He also makes some in a few other keys as well. He makes, I believe, one in C, one in G, and of course the alto in B flat, and he makes some other stuff too. So let's go to his website and check all that stuff out. So here is Eric the Flute Maker's website, and as you can see, it looks pretty cool. If we scroll down here a little bit, we get a biography about Eric the Flute Maker. It says here on the right, once upon a time, 50 years ago, Eric started making bamboo flutes and has since then handmade over 150,000 wind instruments, which is absolutely incredible. It says here he's been making bamboo flutes in Mexico, Guatemala, Argentina, Brazil, Hawaii, Costa Rica, and Fiji, where he even got to play for their president. And it also has a biography down here about Eric Sampson himself. I'm not going to read that in this video. I'm just going to look at his instruments, but of course you can go to his website and check all this out for yourself too. So if we go to the shop, which is up here in the top, we can see his various instruments. If you just click on the shop, it takes you to like the main page, which is kind of all of his instruments, but he's got specific categories up here too. So we can go to specifically the whistles over here. So we've got major scale, exotic scale, and the Cocobola wood for the major scale. The exotic scale has a really cool one here that I really, really love. It's the C Arabian scale. He's got a couple videos here of it, and let's just take a quick listen to this, and you can hear how amazing it sounds.
the flute maker here with our new carbon fiber Arabian penny whistle, but wait, there's more.
There is, in fact, much more on his website. We'll go check that out as well, but that's just an incredibly cool sounding instrument. That, again, is $165. Maybe I'll get one of these. I don't know. It sounds really, really amazing. He also has some side-blown flutes here on the site, too. He's got a few different types. He's got some bamboo ones with exotic scales and major scales. A few different ones here. These are really cool. He's also got some end-blown flutes up here in the shop too. So we've got the Fipple flute on the left here, which is the Kiowa Love flute, which is an absolutely gorgeous flute. This one's a little more expensive than the other ones. It's almost $200, $195, and it's just an absolutely stunning sounding flute. Let's take a listen to this video here. It is an absolutely amazing sounding, beautiful, beautiful flute, and maybe I'll get one of those. He also has the saxophone section, which of course is where mine came from, the saxophone section. For some reason, it only is showing the all-terrain saxophones right now. I'm not exactly sure why. The bamboo saxes aren't showing up on the website. That is, in fact, very interesting. Before he had bamboo sax and the all-terrain carbon fiber ones, but now he only has the all-terrain. That is very interesting. So the all-terrain comes in D major, C major, G major, and B flat. My bamboo sax is in the key of B flat, and you can get the all-terrain saxophone in 4 different keys, which is pretty sweet. Again, not sure why the bamboo sax is out of stock. Perhaps he's growing more bamboo or something for these, but he does have the carbon fiber ones too. Let's take a quick listen to this video. Got a little bit more finesse, of course, than I do when I play mine, but you can actually hear that it doesn't sound vastly different from the bamboo sax. A lot of times carbon fiber instruments sound kind of colder and more harsh than their wooden counterparts, but that doesn't seem to be the case with the all-terrain saxophone. Now, in his specials category, there's a few other interesting things too here. One of my favorites is this double flute. It's only $65. It's probably one of the most affordable instruments on his site. He doesn't actually make this one. A friend of his does, who I believe is called George Kelishek, makes these. They sound really cool. Let me know what you think of this. I love this. That just sounds so cool to me. I love that. That is so neat. You can play in harmony on one singular flute. He's also got some sets here too that are really cool. So he's got the ancient flute set over here on the right, the Mid-Eastern flute set, and the Old World flute set. The Mid-Eastern flute set includes the Arabian penny whistle I showed you earlier. The ancient flute set's really neat too. For only $159, you get 4 different flutes that are inspired by like ancient archaeological digs. Let me dig through this video and find one of the flutes in this video and play it for you here.
Anasazi.
So that is an ancient flute that was found in an ancient Pueblo town in North America, and that flute is inspired by the ancient flute, which is why this is called the ancient flute set. I like this set too. I might think about maybe getting this too. They're side-blown flutes. They're unique to anything I've ever tried, and I don't know. It's just cool. So that's a brief look at his website here. He's got so many cool things on here. And again, this ancient flute set comes with 4 different things. You got the Ice Age flute, the Jiahu crane flute, the Anasazi flute, which you just heard, and then also the Japanese koken flute too. So many neat, interesting things. So many cool instruments. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that tour of Eric the Flute Maker's website. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, and like I said, a few of those things I'm thinking about maybe getting. So let me know if you guys think I should get some of those things. The ancient flute set in particular looks really interesting to me. It's a new type of flute I've never really tried playing before with the side blown thing, and that just looks cool. So let me know if you guys think I should get those, or if I should get any other type of instrument, whether it be a woodwind instrument or really anything under the price of $200. With this, now that I kind of know the basics, the very rudimentary features of how to play the saxophone with the embouchure and all that, part of me kind of wants to get a real saxophone now. And let me know if you guys think I should do that. Should I go that crazy and get a real saxophone and learn how that works? I don't know, maybe I'm not qualified just yet, but I think it would be kind of fun. Anyways, I think I'll leave us off here with a little bit more noodling around. I'll just improv on this and play whatever I really feel like, and that's kind of the beauty of this as well, is every note on this works with itself, so you can play whatever notes you want in it, and they all sound pretty good. Some combinations sound a little better than others, but they all sound great. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'll leave us off with this video on. Once again, thanks to Eric the Flute Maker for making such a really fantastic product. I absolutely love this thing. And thank you all for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, you might want to think about subscribing. Thank you.